Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of ABAP Explained. Today we're looking at a special episode because my company ConVista Poland showcased my channel on their LinkedIn profile. You can check out the whole post, and we actually got some comments under it, and one is from Virginia, and she's requesting some help to an issue. It's in Polish, so I'm gonna translate a bit. Basically, the issue is that she has a big API call and she cannot fit it in a basic Dynpro field. So I'll try to help you today, Virginia, with that. And let's see the sample project that I built showcasing the issue. So usual in Dynpro fields, you have just this basic input field where you cannot really paste in too big of an string or like a bigger string looking like this. This is actually a JSON, but it doesn't matter. There are many cases where you need to paste like big chunks of code. And if you will try to do this at this basic Dynpro string field, it will actually copy only the first line. So if I try to do this, it copies only the first line and you cannot really save the data. And we want to help usually the consultants that they can quickly copy something. They don't need to format everything like this and copy and paste. So let's see how this can be solved. Okay, guys, so we are at the main logon screen. I have made the screen a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. And let's go to the transaction SE38 to create the program. This is my sample program, and for the new program, let's call it let's call it big text box. Why not? Click on create, title, API, text box, give it some description, select the type as an executable program, save it. I will save it as a local object, so it doesn't really matter what we choose. Okay, and I will click on the display object list so we can actually create some screens. So let's start and right click on the program and create a screen. Screen number, as usual, 1000, because it's the main screen. Give it some description, Control save, Control F3 to activate. Let's go to the layout, to the screen painter, which we all love. Let's wait for it to load. Go into big screen. And here we will only add one thing, or maybe two things. First one is going to be the label, which doesn't really matter. But let's do API call. And now select a custom container or custom control. And let's make it, let's say, this big. And let's name it CC for custom container API. So I usually call the custom control. Wait, was it? For 1 second, it was something else. I don't know. Custom control CC API. Close it. Control F3 to activate. And let's go back to our report. To start off, let's go actually again back to our screen that has been generated. And let's uncomment the standard PI and PBO modules. Shift F1 to format, Control S to save. And now double click on the first module to create it. Currently it does not exist. It will generate and include in our main program. So I click on OK. We can skip the title bar, but let's uncomment the PF status. PF status, which is the toolbar on the screen. The first one I will always call standard, Control F3 to activate, and double click on the PF status to create it. Standard toolbar. Click OK. And let's add 2 function keys, save and back, Control S, F3 to go back. And that's all we're gonna do in the PF status. And now let's create the Py module. So I double click on that, click on yes. And I don't want a new include, I want the Py module to be in the same include that we just created by creating the PBO. So click on OK. And as you can see, you have these 2 parts that are in this one include that's just been created. And for now, we can Control F3 and activate everything that we created for this report. You can see it automatically has put in the include into my report. And let's start with just calling the screen. But before we do that, we paste in the event start of selection, indicating that we running the executable program. So I will do call screen 1000. I'll activate it and right click on the program name and execute it in a new window. So we can see the label already, but we cannot see the text box. We can see that the 2 function codes that we created are not grayed out, so we can click on them, but currently they do not do anything. And to change that, let's go back to the include, to the Py module, and to make the functions work, the function codes on the toolbar, let's put in some standard processing logic so that we can at least close the report. So we do case C user command as a system variable, and then do a when, and when I click back, I just want to leave the program. When I click save, I will do some stuff, but nothing for now. So Shift F1 to format, Control F3 to activate. And now if I run the program, I can now click back to close, to go back to the screen. So I don't need to open it actually in a new window, but I can close, click F8 to run it and go back to the screen where we create the code. So format Shift F1 and Control F3 again to activate. So now let's create the text box that Virginia has requested. This is the beginning, we can say, of the solution, because the whole other stuff is just basic standard ABAP for creating a screen. So let's go, before we are calling the screen, let's do some changes. First, let's define the container object. Hello container equals new. So I'm creating an instance of a object of the type CL GUI custom container. And I am passing 1 parameter only, which is the CC API, which, a little reminder, is the screen name, the custom container name that we created here in the screen painter. So I am defining a local object container, and the second object that I will need to create is the text box. LO text edit equal to new. Again, I will initiate a new object, but this time of the class CL GUI text edit. So the main class of today's topic of the solution is CL GUI text edit. And here we actually need to pass 2 parameters. First one is the parent which is the container. So parent equals to hello container. And the second parameter is the word wrap mode. I will tell you why we need it later on. It's not needed to make it everything functional, but probably if you want to use this, it will drop some errors later on. So let's just get rid of this futuristic issue that you don't know about yet. And I will actually copy something. I will copy the constant from this class and paste it here, so it's quicker. If I double click on it, you can see that the value of this one is 2. Okay, so just use it. As I said, I will explain it later on. And now, with only these two things, if you run the whole program, you can already see that you created the text box. Okay, so at this point, I could close the whole tutorial and say that it's done, but let's just go one step further and see how this can be used. We have a standard toolbar for this one. If you don't want to show it, maybe you want to show some other fields for at first, and the big text box, you can turn it off by addressing this local object and calling the method set toolbar mode to 0, which will turn it off. If I activate and run it, you can see it's gone. So now let's see how this actually can be used and how we can read the data from the text edit box. Because you can, of course, now paste in some stuff, but it's not going to be saved anywhere. And to actually read the data, we're going to address again our text box, because that's the main interest. And we will do get text as R3 table. You can also use a stream. If you use a stream, then you don't need to use the word wrap mode, but you will get some weird, I would say, some weird transformations of your text that you are pasting on. So it's better to use get text as R3 table. And here we paste one variable, which is lt text, and lt text is not defined yet, so we can do that and do it right here. And lt text will be a type table of char, let's say 512. And remember to not use type table of strings, because it's not gonna work for every table and it's gonna dump. So I suggest you use char of 512. Let's activate it. Okay, so that's okay. It's text 512, and we actually need to paste the parameter variable, so it's gonna be table equal to lt text. It's not on exporting. Okay, so we need to paste in importing, and it's actually gonna work. So we are exporting the text table here. And if you want to see this in action, we actually cannot leave it here, but we need to move it to the pie. So let's do that. And here, for example, when I click save, I want to do something with the data. So let's activate everything. And maybe I'll put a breakpoint in there just so you can see what's happening. And F8. Now if I paste some text here and I press save, it's going to this pie, which is a process after input module. And we can actually see that currently the table is empty. But if I press F6 to go one step further, it is filled with all the data that I have pasted in there. So that's actually it. If you want to use it, then you just need to do some little transformation, maybe to save it at a string field or a char field. Then you can loop at lt text, assigning field symbol, define one inline at the spot, ls text, end loop, and let's define a new variable, or maybe let's define it here, data lv text of type, let it be text 500 or type string, so we don't it's not cut off. And lv text, let's use the new text transformations, lv text connected with ls text. Okay, again, activate. And I forgot the breakpoint, so you can see what's happening there. If I run it now, if I paste some code, maybe actually let me copy something from the web. I will just search for random JSON data. I know Virginia requested the API call, but yeah, it's basically the same. And let's generate it. Okay, a lot, quite big. Let's see if it works. So I will copy everything. Let's go back to our program and let's paste it. So as you can see, 352 lines, so quite big, and it's whole everything here. I don't need to transform it. It has been pasted automatically. And now if you press save, actually, it's gonna read all the lines, 352, paste it one by one into this table line, so nothing is lost. And I can one by one, if I press F6, go one step, second step, and so on, and paste everything together into one string. So that way you can save it in a table, and then you can print it back while reading the data and print it back in the screen. Okay, so let's continue it. 512. Okay, great. It didn't dump, so everything has been saved nicely. Well, it hasn't been saved anywhere. It has just been put into this variable. So if you want to save it, then you need to insert it into your table where you want to save it. So that was get text as R3 table to read the data from it. But if you want to put some data before the display, then you would need to call not get text as R3 table, but get just set. Okay, and there, instead of an importing parameter, it's going to be an exporting parameter. Okay, currently LT text is empty, so let's fill it with some things just so you can. Whoops, LT text table LT text. Everything should be fine now. Yeah, just like that. So LT text equals to value hash, because we already know the type, and let's paste in some data, which will be test. I don't know, just so you can see. Let's format it nicely. I am somewhat of a format freak, so sorry if it takes a bit too long. And now we can actually activate everything, and hopefully it will run. It runs. So I'll just do direct processing, and you can see before we open the screen, it has pasted in the value. Okay, so you can read something from the table, paste it here, then do some changes, save it to your table, and to your local variable, and do some transformations. So yeah, I hope it has helped you, Virginia, with your issue. And just for anyone else, if you would be interested in just, we can say somewhat of video just for you, where I am solving your issues, your ABAP issues, leave a comment either here on YouTube or at the LinkedIn post. You can contact me directly at LinkedIn if you have some issues. And who knows, maybe I will record a video especially just for you. Thank you, ConVista, again for showcasing my YouTube profile on your channel, or my YouTube channel on your LinkedIn profile. And yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and we are going to see you at the next video.